Ooh. Okay, so if you saw that clip, you probably just thought, damn, he just got smoked. Well, you're right. And now I'm going to let you know why I got smoked. It's because of an animation technology that was used in Madden 10, which I very much enjoyed, called the ProTac animation technology. The ProTac feature was new that year and was advertised on the back of the box, explaining it as, make every play count. The play isn't over until the whistle blows with the all-new ProTac animation technology, where 3 to 9 man gang tackles, fumble pile-ups, improved blocking schemes, and more. You feel what it's like to fight for every yard, and it's safe to say EA delivered on their claim. This technology didn't only allow players to pile up for gang tackles and fumbles, it allowed ball carriers to juke, spin, and truck out of contact. Now there's a lot of ways I could explain the greatness of this technology, but I feel that it's best that if I just showed you. So let's get into it. So as you can see in this clip, Chris Johnson is going absolutely crazy. So first he absorbs the contact and stiff arms the safety. This animation was a product of the ProTac technology. This broken tackle wasn't just any ordinary broken tackle we're used to seeing in Madden. What happened here was the user controlled safety took a damn near perfect angle towards the ball carrier, and as you can see, the safety made first contact with him before the stiff arm animation was triggered. Now typically in Madden, the first to summon their animation will win the tackle battle. For example, if a ball carrier were to summon a juke, stiff arm, truck, or a spin before the defender could make contact, and their rating was sufficient enough, they'll typically win the tackle battle. Not necessarily meaning that they'll break the tackle, but they will be rewarded the extra yardage. And if the defender were to make initial contact before the ball carrier could summon any moves, 9 times out of 10 the defender was winning that battle. But in this case, the defender made first contact and the ball carrier was able to counter it. So instead of Chris Johnson displaying his athleticism by just cutting and juking through the defense, you can see him pushing guys off of him and bouncing off of tackles. And this resulted in a more realistic, cleaner looking gameplay. Now moving on to the next ProTac animation that was triggered in this play, what you'll notice initially is a 5-man pile-up, and miraculously, Chris Johnson stayed on his feet and made his way to the end zone. You probably think, yeah, it's kinda cheese. But once you actually analyze the animation and break down the physics behind why it triggered, you'll begin to appreciate it more. So first, CJ comes out of that stiff arm pretty strong and goes head up with safety LaRon Landry. Neither of the guys end up gaining an edge on each other, resulting in a stalemate. Now these two are body to body with CJ2K fighting for extra yardage and Landry attempting to stand his ground and stop him in his tracks. So while these two are body locked into a stalemate, 2 Redskins defenders step in to assist their teammate. Unfortunately, Chris Johnson was already in front of them and they were forced to pursue from behind. Now, that's how the pile up was formed. Now let's get into how the pile broke down and CJ managed to stay up. First, the 2 defenders were already at a disadvantage by getting a hold of him from behind. Since they were already pursuing from behind, the best bet was to tackle him from the rear, causing him to fall forward. But unfortunately, the force exerted from the 2 assisting tacklers wasn't enough to cause the ball carrier to fall forward. Instead, it created a 4-man pile-up. As you can see, the 2 defenders in the back, their feet aren't moving too much. They're just holding on for dear life, hoping for a forward progress call. But Chris Johnson kept his legs turning, causing the pile-up to move forward. And as you notice Chris Johnson keeping his legs turning and fighting through the contact, you notice the defenders in the back legs begin to shuffle a bit as they get dragged along. And you can start to see where their hold on the ball carrier became compromised. Now let's look at the front of the pile where the stalemate first occurred. An important thing you'll notice is that Chris Johnson is physically lower than LaRon Landry, and if you ever play football, you know the golden rule. The lowest man wins, and that's exactly what happened. You can see Landry firmly planting his feet in the ground on initial contact, and as CJ keeps his legs turning, Landry unwillingly backs out of that position, falling to the ground, compromising his stance, and ultimately giving up an 80-yard touchdown. This is just one instance of the ProTac technology being used in gameplay, and of course there are many more animations, but this video is already pretty long, so I'm not going to analyze any further ones. And by the way, don't think that these animations are just a cheesy bailout for the ball carriers to finesse their way out of a well-defended play, because the majority of the time when these ball carriers attempt to break out of these conservative tackles where the defender had made first contact, you can see them attempt to juke, truck, or even spin out of the tackle, but most likely they wouldn't be able to break free. It really depends on the tackle rating of the defender and the break tackle rating of the ball carrier. and also player weight affects it as well. And for the animations of ball carriers breaking out of gang tackles, those scenarios rarely happen depending on what difficulty you're playing on, but when it did occur, it typically triggered for heavier running backs or superstar players like Adrian Peterson, Brandon Jacobs, or Calvin Johnson. It was an excellent way to distinguish the great players from the average. That was the ProTac animation technology that made the physics in this game seem so realistic. On to the next one.